Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Harakakadash. The bonus to the apostles and elders, great millstone and rule well. And Shalom to the brothers doing the work, certain truth. Um, yeah, we had this going around in the UK that kind of had people on edge, which is amusing, because it's really been the reality for a minute. Because I remember when the war first started with Ukraine and Russia, there was comments made about how London was within striking range, the UK was in like striking range of Russia, depending on how they'll get involved. And then when that was said, it was like, okay, started going around talking about if a war would kick off. So now you've got a few people mentioning how with the war, essentially European nations mentioning that depending on how this war goes, there's attack on a NATO country, then uh a draft could be needed. uh regular Joe Schmo is gonna have to go out there and get laced down. And people are getting feeling a certain way about it, but that's the reality. That's these are the things that are gonna go down. So this is on BBC News. This is what UK citizen army preparing the pre-war generation for conflict. And yeah, because I think as far as for the most recent war would have been Afghanistan and Iraq, I believe, for the UK. So it's been a while, and as far as for the current generations, these guys are not engaged with war. I think my generation, millennial generation, could have gone to Afghanistan. I believe I think it was 2010 when that kicked off, and that would have been like in around 20, 23, 20, like probably 18, 19 to early 20s in around that time. So that's it's possible some of them thought, but it's like for the youngest now, like Gen Z that just came into adulthood, these guys, completely not in any way prepared, and that's kind of like the prime age range you would want to go for anyway. So as it say, talk of a wider war in Europe and the potential need for mass mobilization or a citizen army may sound alarming, but the head of the British Army General Sir Patrick Sanders is not alone in issuing a national call to prepare for a major conflict on European soil. Last week, another senior NATO military chief said countries needed to be on alert and expect the unexpected. Admiral Rob Bauer, who heads the Alliance's military committee, said the public needs to change their mindset for an era when anything can happen at any time. The UK's Defence Secretary has also warned that we need to be prepared for war. In his first major speech on defence, Grant Shapps said the country was moving from a post-war to a pre-war world, which is funny because essentially that means it's an inevitability. It's just a matter of when, and that's really the mindset people should have. Because as far as when you're dealing with prophecy, straight up, Yahweh Shem Yahshua deals with war, and you can essentially have a war on a scale that's never been seen before. And we can see how these things, it's building up, because the Middle East has essentially been a tinderbox for like the last few months, and as more and more people get wrapped in, they're drawn into the vortex of it. And then alliances, just like World War One, World War Two, the First World, the Second World, all those alliances get wrapped up and drawn in. So this is what he highlighted numerous threats, but there's one common thread amid all these warnings: Russia. Germany's defense minister Boris Pistorius recently told a German newspaper, "We have to take into account that Vladimir Putin might even attack a NATO country one day. While he said such an attack is unlikely now, our experts expect a period of 5 to 8 years in which this could soon be possible." So that's within that, you know, 10-year kind of range of 2020 to 2030, where these guys are looking to, seal the deal a lot of these aspects. And it's, an escalation. It's not a surprise. It's not, it's not a mythological thing. It's going to happen very easily and very swiftly. So Russia's invasion of Ukraine has focused the West's military minds. As General Sir Patrick Sanders stated several times in his speech on Wednesday, Ukraine really matters. Russia's ambitions, he said, were not just about seizing territory, but defeating our system and our way of life politically, psychologically, and symbolically. So yeah, they're essentially priming the minds of the people. But essentially, it's, they're just making sure they're in accord with the Western world, man, the Western system. That's really the draw. That's the allure. That's what people are pushing. Because wish this could be possible. Starting this, Zephaniah 3 and 8, it says, "Therefore, wait ye upon me, saith the Lord Yahweh, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation, even all of my fierce anger." And yeah, that's, why these nations are being roused. That's why contention still exists, These guys are sitting around, in the EU and the UN and these different summits. They'll be face to face, rubbing shoulders and whatnot. And what, they're pushing towards is that so-called, peace as people are currently obsessed with. That will come into an end, man. It should be a surprise. It should be a marvel. Because why? They're being gathered, man. They're being roused. They're being corralled for Yahweh Hashem Yahushai to set them up, to scheme on them, man. Because what does it say? To pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. Yeah. All the earth will be devoured. And, it's a scale of what's being set up as what's a superhuman, legendary scale of destruction, man. That's why you're having all these, conflicts back and forth, a build up. It's going through a whole process. And that's why now it's been brought up about the, Russia's capabilities and whatnot. It's heating up. It's bubbling, man. It's come to a boil. So read this. Daniel 2 and 41, it says, "Whereas thou sawest feet and toes, part of pots clay and part of iron. The kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it of the strength of the iron, for so much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay, and as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seeds of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. And yeah, as it says, your iron mixed with miry clay, as far as for these nations, among Esau, among, this tail end, this rebirth of the Roman system, you've got these different nations, clumped together. You got these alliances, this so-called built on. But then, as it says, don't mingle, man. They shall, well, it says they'll mingle the seed of men, but they'll not cleave one to another. They're not cleaving. They're not, as one kingdom. It's, back and forth between multiple of them, man. And that's, the key contenders is what? Russia and Western world. These guys are, Salak ain't even that. I was more talking about the kingdoms, be like the EU system and whatnot. Even with the UK going through a Brexit, and severing itself from from the rest of that union, and then as well, just amongst these nations, that contentions been there. You got history together and whatnot, and among Esau, man, they're not all in accord, man. They're not as one. They're all pushing in their different directions, man. So you had things like the migrant crisis. We had different countries, different parts of the EU saying, "Oh, Germany saying, yeah, we're gonna take them." Then other places saying, "Nah, don't send none of these men here," etc. These, that so-called unity that doesn't exist. They're not, it's a facade that's put on. But it's being utilized what? To gather and bring all these men together. Because Matthew 12 and 25, and it says, "And Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, Every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand?" And yeah, dealing with Esau, you got, you deal with these conflicts. It's just hella Esau crime, man. E crime. Esau, as far as is contending with other aspects of other nations rule as Esau. Over these things. That's where these conflicts are coming from. And Yahushua said it. How then shall his kingdom stand when you even for the simplest things, y'all in contention. That already there's a boundary that's been set. There's a limit, man. There's a ceiling that's been put over it. Because a kingdom, as it can't stand. How's it going to continue? But I'll read this. Revelation 17 and 15, it said, "And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the horse sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire." Yeah, so these nations were, so-called allies, so-called peaceable, which these relationships we're seeing break down as well. Those so-called allies, that's peace. It's been it's been fraying at the edges, man. Because why? It's an easy push to tip it over, over the scales, so to speak. So peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the horn, shall make it desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh as and burn her with fire. So yeah, these are the those horns, those nations, man. These different nations are so called at peace with America. That's gonna cease to be a thing. Fully cease to be a thing. For the Most High have put in their hearts to fulfill His will, and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, unto the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled. So yeah, they've essentially given their crowns over, given their rulership over to America for a period of time. But once that time's up, then it's done. They're gonna open up, man. They're gonna lay into America, man. Shoot them missiles, man. Get taken out, annihilated off the face of the earth. That's part of that role, man. Into the words, yeah. So yeah, finish on this. Joel 3:11. It says, "Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord Yahweh. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, or Yahweh Shaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about." And yeah, everyone's being gathered. The reason why they're talking about these troops, how they're going to be needed, is because why? That conflict is on the cusp. And I think it's the same in the US. In the UK, there's been lows for recruiting. I think it was the US where they said it'd been like multiple years where people hadn't hit like they hadn't hit their recruiting targets like company wide for a good long while. And it's similar over here. There's a lot of branches of the military where they're lacking in recruits. And yeah, if what's it called? Man get drafted. As soon as man get drafted, it's open season. So judge, they will ask it to judge the heathen, all the heathen round about. What says what? Let the heathen be wakened and come out to the valley of Yehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Put ye in a sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come get you down, for the press is full. The fat overflow, for their wickedness is great. Multitudes, multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord Yahweh is near, in the valley of decision. So yeah, that valley of decision, you're gonna have the multitudes up in there. You're gonna have all these talk of the judgments playing out, you people are gonna see it in living color. Everyone's gonna be heaped together in a big mess, and then it's gonna be, pure carnage. Yeah, up until that fire, gets laced. Then it's gonna be fire, man. Hmm. So yeah, that's what is gonna happen after that. Draft thing goes through, man. It's gonna be peak, because the thing is, as well, is as soon as it gets to even a hint of a conflict, it's immediately gonna be drafting going down, and as people gonna be doing the utmost to get out of it. But hey, man, it's gonna be peak. Uh, the day of the Lord, yeah, the day of the Lord's near, man. Where you can have them huge heaps getting desolated, getting busy, man. Because that's how Yahweh Shemar Kakadash gets down, man. So yeah, I'll leave it there. Shalom, shalom. Yahweh Shem Shah Shemar Kakadash. Shalom.